Here we are, guys. We're back. It's the Double XL men, and of course, we're talking about the new episode in X-Men 97, Jason Roy Gaston, and that is episode 8. Tolerance is Extinction, part 1.
Part 1, yes. It's the one before 2 and 3.
And Jace, I'm going to clear out that this thing never has disappointed every episode I've watched, including this one. This is a banger.
Every episode, every scene, every line is just a flex, and I love it. This episode brought in so much drama, brought in so much action, so much amazing animation, and so many revelations, and so many fan theories shot down.
Yeah, but
most
some
of
great
them
surprises. Great surprises.
Yes.
I particularly love how they open up, because what they've handled really well is the politics of the X-Men universe so well this season, and just having that whole that the UN reveals to the world that Xavier is alive, causing those riots to break out all across America. It's wow. They're just throwing it at the screen straight away with this, and they continue not to dumb this down in any way. In fact, it gets more complex, more mature themed as the series goes along.
Yes, I have never been a huge fan of the way that they portrayed Cable in the 90s version of this cartoon, but my gosh, he is such a great character in this series, and just the moments between him and Jean Grey where she says, "It was you were the reason she was so happy before she died." And I just thought, what a wonderful line. I just loved that so much. Yeah. Yes, it really did. And, the Summers family, I want to see National Lampoon Summers Family Vacation. I think there's a great opportunity for comedic and superhero potential there.
Well, you don't F with the Summers family, as we get
you
to see
do not, no.
In a great moment in this episode in the car, which I just loved. But yeah, and then what's really complex about this is the fact that we find out that Bastion is going to use at the start a 300-year war that's going to bring a human utopia.
And who would have thought that the big bad was the son of Nimrod?
Yeah.
First of all, the fact that this super sentinel from the future is called Nimrod, I think is just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a great backstory for a bad guy. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
because you sympathize.
My dad got a sentinel STD and knocked up my mom, and boom, here I am, Bastion.
Yeah.
Have you met my mom?
But even like the little bit shots of him as a kid, I'm never going to be normal, mum. I'm like, oh wow, you know what I mean?
That's great.
Yeah, it was absolutely, but it is an STD in some ways.
It is. Bastion is an STD from the future.
But what do you think of the Prime Sentinels? What do you think of that idea? That's
terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. It's part Terminator, part zombie movie.
Yeah.
When the kind grandma just kind of goes, and she's just like, we must terminate all mutants. Would you like some ribbon candy while I terminate you? That was terrifying. And then when they go outside and the entire town's after them, and they were not really holding back with the violence this time around. I mean, Wolverine, who has been pretty much in the back seat all season, thankfully so, and I love the guy, but I love the fact that they're letting other mutants shine, was basically shish kebabbing them.
That moment where he goes flying through the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do. And I actually genuinely felt, I knew they'd get out of it, but I was going, how is Nightcrawler and Wolverine getting out of this? Because they look like they were being overwhelmed. And it felt the same on the X-Jet with the Summers family. That was just like, that's what made them terrifying, because this series has put everything into flux.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know who could die in this series. It makes every scene after, since the death of
ever since Genosha, all bets are off the table. Yeah.
All bets are off. So it's
yes,
fantastic.
I completely agree. Nobody's safe. Everybody could die at any time, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Did you like your cameos this week? We had some great cameos this week.
We
had Dr.
did.
Doom.
Okay. We had Baron Zemo, and we can say this one at
Yes.
the same time. 1, 2, 3. Spider-Man! You didn't say
Spider-Man. I was going to say Omega Red. Wasn't Omega Red in that as well?
Oh, I
was
forgot
thinking of the
about Omega
villains.
Red, yeah. I was talking about the big one. Not just Spider-Man,
Spidey.
not just Spider-Man, 90s animated Spider-Man.
That's what
which
I was going to
makes me
confirm with you.
so
I wasn't sure.
Happy.
Yeah.
It was animated Spider-Man. They confirmed it. It is animated Spider-Man. Yes, they did.
Nah, that's great. And even though it is like, holy moly, check out that cameo, it's not like, it still feels organically part of the show because, as we know from the old X-Men, superheroes everywhere. So, of course, they would run into them occasionally. So, or we get references to them.
Yeah, and it's so many possibilities for the future as well. I mean, I've heard some people talking about how this is setting up X-Men versus the Avengers, how it could be setting up many other different things. So, I mean, the possibilities are just crazy right now about what could be happening.
Well, we do know that we have season 2 already written and in production.
Yes.
And season 3, they were just starting to come up with plot ideas. But either way, the end of it, this whole thing, and it's a giant cabal of villains who are all good with this, but really the banger, and I'm going to this is a spoiler-filled episode, guys. So if you're not, it's in the description. It's spoilers all the way. The fact that we get Magneto to the place where we kind of want him to be, and that is declaring war on humanity. And the moment he goes at North Pole and he's doing the thing, shutting down all the Prime Sentinels, you know it's on. You know these next 2 episodes, it's gonna be messy.
Yeah, you know Magneto has brought it when he goes to the North Pole with just his underpants on and EMPs the entire planet. I thought that was such a great moment.
Yeah, and such a great way to turn him back to where he is. So it now, with obviously in the thumbnail, Xavier at the end returning back to Earth and calling his X-Men home. It's now, get ready for war. And it's back to that internal battle between, Professor X and Magneto, which is absolutely at the core, and I love it.
I can't wait for the scene where they're all sitting around Xavier, just like, where the heck is Storm? Where is she at? Oh, she doesn't have her power. Yes, she does. I can sense her flying. Tell her to get over here. Where's Gambit? Oh, he's dead. Oh yeah, he is dead.
Yeah, okay. I forgot about that bit.
Jean Grey and Scott. What is this? Who's the third woman? What's going on?
And what's with the dude all on fire, like that Sunspot? Because he wouldn't know about Sunspot. He was new.
No, he
wouldn't. Oh, by the way, that's another little moment I loved with Jubilee's on the run. And you're thinking, she goes, how come I can't fly? But she does her thing, and you think, this is where Jubilee's going to fly. No. Sunspot.
Matrix moment.
I did like that.
Yeah,
so
great.
Very cool.
Not a single plot thread in this entire episode was wasted. I loved it. It was great. There was so much, and I want to see much more.
I don't want to jinx it, but it's kind of flawless.
Yeah.
I find it. I mean, you've heard complaints, but I don't know what crack they're smoking. But this is as good as. This is better than anyone could have ever expected out of this series to be redone 15, 17 years later, or even longer. This is one of those rare occasions where it's elevated this show beyond, I think, anyone's expectations.
This is the best Marvel television show ever.
Oh,
I'm just going to say it. It's the best Marvel television show ever. If you're not watching X-Men 97, you are what's wrong with this world, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll be back next week with, big surprise, the title here. Tolerance is Extinction Part 2.
Yes, the one between 1 and 3, as I recall, if my numbers work that way.
I think you're right on that one, Jace. We'll see you guys next time on XXL, man. There we go.
Nimrod.
What do you think Professor X is going to say about Rogue? She did what? She just threw him off the building?
I can't believe she did that. Oh, it was the guy who killed Gambit. Okay, no, I can't believe it took her that long.